Yeah, I saw that that's that thing.
Yeah, we had, I had nice, I felt like one of those avatars. Hi, welcome to our home. It was built in 1945.
I think we had 212
I believe
come
it.
true.
That's great.
That's wonderful.
$5,300
That's great. That's great.
So you bought a ticket and you went door to door?
Yeah, and our house was on. And, we took him through the house and I said, now you come out through the TV star and the pool house and the kitchen and all that stuff. And we had a big life-size Santa Claus. And he usually just stays in the pool house. So we brought him out and everybody got their pictures taken with him. And it was so fun. It was really neat.
And I just give you your pictures.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the one.
Your
Can I
phone
sit down?
number. Your phone number.
All right, then I'll call the meeting to order and ask for roll call, please.
Okay. Vice Chairman Labige.
Here?
Commissioner Avery is absent. Commissioner Bell. Here. Commissioner Berube.
Here.
Commissioner Crawford absent. Commissioner, oh, I'm sorry. Present. Commissioner Goodness.
Here.
Commissioner Javid.
Here.
Commissioner Macon.
Here.
Commissioner Provo.
Here.
Commissioner Segee is absent. And Commissioner Templeton.
Here.
Thank you.
Great, appreciate that. And Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you. I know it's getting into the Christmas season now, so appreciate your attendance. And everyone was sent the minutes from our last meeting along with the agenda. So with that, I would entertain any corrections to the minutes or a motion for approval.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any
I'll second.
discussion? Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. All right, we have approved the minutes. And we will open our regular meeting and ask for a city review for PZ 2021-377, request for certificate of appropriateness to replace garage doors, install gutters, replace porch posts, and paint house from our applicant Eric Newell at 2445 Louisiana Street. So,
Okay. Mr. Newell is seeking permission to replace the garage doors, porch posts, install gutters, and paint the house located at 2445 Louisiana Street. The body color for the house will be secret garden, trim will be downing sand, the shutters will be naval, and the front door will be interesting aqua. He intends to also replace the garage doors, which will be in almond color. He requests to replace the porch posts to be square only in profile and wood stained. Lastly, he requests to install the gutters. This home is categorized as a modern ranch style home. Examples of this are on page 479 and 480 in your books. The existing square top porch posts with decorative design elements that are current seem appropriate for ranch style homes of the 1970s era. Changing the porch post to square only profile does not seem appropriate for homes of this era. Therefore, staff recommends denial of the request to replace the porch posts. However, staff recommends approval of the request to paint the house, install gutters, and replace the garage doors with the following condition. The gutters shall be installed to blend in with and be the same color as the trim. So, this is the front of the house. We do have the applicant present here today.
all right, any questions for staff? If not, Mr. Newell, if you'd come forward and just state your name and your address for our records. And you can tell us a little bit about your project.
Eric Newell, 2445 Louisiana, Beaumont, Texas 77702. So this project kind of started after we experienced some flooding during Imelda. Well, actually it started prior to Harvey when we tried to get somebody to come paint our house because it was chipping and needed painting. That time we couldn't get even a bit. But after Imelda, we got a little bit of flooding, which created some foundation issues, which we've already addressed. And basically, we're just trying to get the house to where it looks good. The white garage door that you see there, the bottom portion of that rotted, and I had to replace something. But now I want functional garage doors, so I'm just getting them replaced from the ground up. Due to COVID delays, those garage doors have been on back order since, I think, August. We just wanted to change the colors very slightly, a little bit darker green, blue trim shutters instead of orange red. With respect to the posts, the bottom left post as you face the house is rotted at the bottom and it needs replacing. You can kind of tell from this picture. One aspect of this that is, not only are we redoing this, we have flooding in the inside that I still have to repair, some kitchen cabinets that need repairing. So I'm at a significant cost and I'm nearly at the top of my budget. And a lot of things aren't gonna get done. Probably aren't gonna be able to afford the gutters. I would rather have a new fence than gutters, but we're trying to stretch out every dollar we can. So I don't think we wanted perfectly square posts. We did want some sort of decoration on them. Now that this is an issue, I would, if that's gonna be the holdup, I would ask that the board go ahead and improve the rest of the issues. And if you need me to come back with a better plan for a decorative porch, I'll be happy to come back in January. But we had started, my contractor didn't realize that there were additional permitting considerations in Old Town. So we've kind of stopped. As you can see, we're kind of mid scrape and replace wood. But we really want to get this going in January as quickly as possible. So, do you have any questions of me?
Any questions?
Do you just have an objection to the post?
Well,
I mean, I'm not really following you on where that's going.
We've been driving around trying to get an understanding of what appropriate posts are. We checked the book out. The black and white pictures, it's very difficult to tell. I mean, in the book you rely on, there are some just standard square posts. I think what we would ideally like to do is have a square post with framing on it, paint it, and stain it. And if need be, we could put, there's, I don't know what they're called, but they're the triangular decorations that come off in ranch
But I
style
mean, you
homes.
just have an objection about replacing the post with a like post, like it
We
is
would
now?
prefer not to. I don't know that those, I mean, they're square at the bottom and they're square at the top, but they're turned and they're rounded on the center, which to me doesn't even comport with a square framed decorative post that is what was my understanding is appropriate for this style of home.
Thank you.
Any
It-
oth- any-
Is the garage door, the white garage door on the left, is that the type of door that you're replacing?
We're gonna have windows in them.
Okay.
That was just what I could find at Lowe's when the garage, I mean, it literally was, my garage was wide open.
So the style that you're getting is similar to the
It's
existing?
probably a hybrid. I'm not entirely sure. But I think it's more like the white one in design, but it's gonna have windows across it. And it's my understanding, I mean, the staff had said that we didn't have an issue with the garage door, when we first raised all of these issues.
Do you even know what the garage door is gonna look like, or you haven't even shopped for
They're
it
the
yet?
standard garage door and overhead door
Okay.
with windows.
It's gonna
And-
look like the one on the left, but it'll have windows,
Yes.
window cut.
And I think that
cutouts in it.
they had them on the top, but I'm pretty sure those are modular and they would go
Yeah.
on the second row. And the garage doors will be painted the same as the trim, instead of the same as the house.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Newell. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll open it up for discussion. Committee? Here, our board.
Well, my comment is that if the issues with the posts, we can improve the rest, but not the posts, correct? Or
Yes,
this is all in
and-
one, but
And we can give staff permission to approve a post design. I don't know that it definitely, I think the biggest objection is just getting a square piece of
Right.
wood and putting it
Yeah,
up and not
we
putting
don't-
any decorative trimmer on
Yeah.
the top or decorative trimmer on the
Yeah.
bottom. That I think is staff objection to it. You just don't wanna see a treated square wood post out there and we had a decorative post
Got it.
before.
well, I make a motion that we approve file PZ 2021-377 with the exclusion of the porch posts with approval of staff that is acceptable to them.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve this, and that way, Mr. Newell, you won't have to come back. You just need to bring a picture of what you want to do, and it's fine if you want to have a carpenter build it up and make it more decorative, that's fine, but just a picture of what you're gonna do so that the girls can approve it, make sure that it's consistent with the style of the house. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign? All righty, Mr. Newell, you can move forward with your project. Thank you, sir. All right, our next file is PZ 2021-382. It's a request for a certificate of demolition to demolish a house and a certificate of appropriateness for a new construction. Applicant Stonewater, Inc. for Ashley Sapon at 2385 Angelina Street.
Okay. Stonewater Incorporated has requested a certificate of demolition to demolish the existing structure and a certificate of appropriateness for a new construction. The proposed home will be approximately 1,782 square feet in size and will contain 6 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, and a living room. The structure will be on pier and beam foundation with horizontal hardy plank siding. The roof will be brown with architectural shingles. Windows will have 1/1 in appearance. Staff recommends approval of both requests subject to the following conditions. The roof overhang minimum shall be 12 inches. The required ADA ramp shall be located on the rear side of the property and not visible from the street right-of-way. The windows shall be 6/1 in appearance and made of either vinyl or wood. Roof pitch shall not be less than 4.5 inch rise over any 12-inch horizontal distance. The posts on the front porch shall be a craftsman style tapered column. The front door shall be of craftsman style. Staff received 0 letters in favor, 0 in opposition for the demolition of the structure. So this is the subject property. And this is the elevations over here, along with the roof plan so that you can see the style of the elevation or the orientation of it. This is the floor plan over here. So we're mainly concerned with the outside of it, not necessarily the floor plan.
The bedrooms must be very small to put 6 bedrooms in
Yeah.
1,700 and something square feet.
Yeah, it looks like they have 1 master bathroom and then
Is this for some kind of group home or something?
it's for a GLO. It's the GLO program, which is the General Land Office. They so any storms that took on or any houses that took on severe damage from the storms like Harvey or Imelda, they could qualify for a new home. It just has a parameter of, conditions that they have to meet, and this house meets that.
Even with 6 bedrooms?
Yeah.
These rooms are
Yeah, they have different
10
floor
by
plans.
6.
Must be just big enough for a single bed.
I mean, 10 by 8.
Yeah, they have, I believe, they have like 4, 5, or 6, different floor plans,
Oh.
that the homeowner can choose from.
Oh.
But, the applicant is present, someone from Stonewater,
Okay.
so she may be able to answer some more questions.
Let me ask you this, because they've come to us before and we've had these same recommendations. And I've never seen the Craftsman style tapered columns that they're using. Have you seen them? Has anybody seen them?
There was one, I could see if I could pull up a picture, it might be past the month, where my text delete, but, there was one off of, I wanna say it was Evalon. I can find out though, but they did install the taper column.
Okay.
It was by, Mr. Cockrell.
Okay. And it looked fine, the proportions were
Mhm.
okay, all
Yeah.
that, good.
Yeah, it looked really pretty.
Okay. Applicant, you said is here? Name and address, please, for our records.
Yep, my name is Jennifer Foreman with Stonewater on behalf of Ashley Sapon. The address that we are looking at is 2385 Angelina Street, Beaumont, Texas, 77702. Sorry, 77702.
No, I'd like the company address, please.
Oh, the company address.
Yes, we have the site address.
Sure. It's 2005 Post Office Street, Galveston, Texas, 77550.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
That's just for our record, so we know who was here and what address they came from.
Absolutely.
All right, please.
This is through the Texas General Land Office program. We are looking to completely demolish and reconstruct the home based on this maple floor plan that we have available for the homeowner. Like you said, it is a 6-bedroom, 2-bath home. We are willing to meet with all of the conditions that were listed. We have no problems with any of those conditions. And we're open to doing whatever else is required of us to have this home constructed for this homeowner.
All right, any questions?
Can you explain about the GLO housing, how this works?
Sure. Any homeowner that has experienced severe damage from a storm, the Texas General Land Office sends out their own inspectors to take a look at the damage to see if it's something that can be repaired, or if those costs do exceed a certain value within historic districts especially, they recommend a complete demolition and reconstruction. This house did meet that exceeded cap, well over that exceeded cap actually, and so they are looking to demolish and reconstruct and get that new building up to code versus that old building.
So there's already a homeowner in mind or in place that will take this property?
The homeowner already owns the property, yes.
Okay, understand.
Yes.
Are they currently living in the property?
Yes, they were.
Oh,
And this is a single family?
It is a single family, the 6 bedrooms, so they qualified on the number of bedrooms based on the amount of dependents they have living in the house.
and how many bedrooms are in the current house?
Ooh, the existing house, I
Uh-huh.
believe it had 5 bedrooms. I don't have a confirmation of that. I
Really?
can confirm
Okay. Thank you.
that. Absolutely.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll open it up for discussion or motion.
Make a motion, we approve file PZZ 2020, or PZ 2021-382
With staff recommendations?
with staff recommendations.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you. Look forward to getting a new house there in that
Yeah.
neighborhood. All right, our next file is PZ 2021-409, a request for certificate of appropriateness to remove shakes and paint a house. Applicant is Marvin Winlow. The address is 2470 Ashley Avenue.
Okay. Marvin Lindo requests permission to remove the shakes and paint the house located at 2470 Ashley. He ensured the profile of the siding would match the existing garage on the property. The paint will be a body color of winter ice. The trim will be white dove. The front door will be Granada Villa. This house is categorized as a minimal traditional style house. A variety of materials such as stone, brick, wood siding, etc. appear to be used for this style or this kind of home. Examples are on page 461 in your book. Therefore, the removal of the shakes to be replaced with wood siding seems appropriate for a home of this era. Staff recommends approval of this request. So this is from the street right of way, the subject property. They have shakes going up the full, side of the wall or exterior wall. So this is the existing garage back here. I've tried to contact the applicant multiple times to get the exact inch for the siding. I was unsuccessful, but it will match the garage that's back there. He did ensure that the time that I was able to speak with him. And then this is the colors that he wants to use. So this winter ice, that's going to be the body. The white dove will be the trim, and the Granada Villa will be the door. And I don't believe that he is present.
All right, any questions for staff? All right,
I make a motion that we approve PZ 2021-409.
Second.
a motion and a second for approval of PZ 2021-409. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, it's approved. I like that color combination.
I do too. That's right next door to me, so
Oh,
that is getting it fixed.
nice to
You're
get that done.
Thank
yeah.
you.
All right, our next file is PZ 2021-411, a request for certificate of appropriateness to construct a fence. The applicant is Terry Highsmith. Location is 794 3rd Street, 794 3rd Street.
Property owner Terry Highsmith requests permission to construct a stucco fence for the property located at 794 3rd Street. The fence will encompass the backyard and will be visible from 3rd and Hazel. The fence will be 6 feet in height and 8 inches in width. Additionally, the fence will be made of concrete blocks covered with stucco and painted white with decorative columns. Section 28.03.018 G3D states a fence in the front or corner side yard must be constructed of wrought iron, wood, or brick. Concrete block fences are not permitted. Having said that, staff recommends denial of this request. This is the subject property. This is just going down the road on 3rd, just a little bit to show where he would tie in with that fence right there to this wood fence. This is a view from Hazel. It would connect to this fence. I'm sorry that got cut off. But it would connect to that fence. And this is an example of what he would like to construct. And he is present here today.
All right, any other questions for staff? Do we know of any other masonry fences that I don't know of any of them that's come before us before. Usually they're so expensive that people
I think
just
that
don't
was one of
install
his arguments was that, with wood being so high, the concrete blocks actually are going to be a cheaper cost. That's what we discussed on the phone. But I don't know of any in the past 3 years that I've been here that's come to the board.
Any other questions? If not, Mr. Highsmith, you'd like to come forward and please give your name and address and clue us in on your project.
Hello, I'm Terry Highsmith, 778 North 3rd Street, Beaumont, and the house is at 794. I'm a little hard of hearing, so,
Just, you can just tell us about your project and why you wanna put up a concrete
okay.
fence, a concrete block fence
it's,
instead of a wood fence.
I like the concrete fence, the stucco fence, as you can see there, a lot better than I like the wooden fences. Those wooden fences all over the neighborhood are falling down. They got mold growing on them, boards are warping. They really look bad, and they're everywhere. And as far as the wrought iron fence, they're okay, but I don't really care for those. And bricks, I guess I could do bricks, but that would be quite expensive, you know, just to do a bunch of bricks for a fence. But I just like the way these look, and I think it would really make the property look a lot better. Basically, that's pretty much it. You know, I just don't like the other fences. the way
Now, are
they
you
look.
in the process of doing some renovations to the house?
Yes, sir, I am.
So this is in conjunction with
Right,
that?
yes, sir. Yeah, the house is, it's a big project. You can see in the picture, it's got a lot of problems. But it's a real sturdy house. It's got 2 outside walls with the shiplap and then the siding. And it's cedar or cypress. And I've been looking for cypress to replace some of the boards that are there. And I think if it hadn't been cypress, that house would probably not be there anymore.
Right.
Because it hasn't had paint on it for at least 40 or 50 years. You know, it's just been falling off for that long. I knew the man that owned it. He's passed away, Donald Futch, and he used the house for storage. He owned several houses on Hazel Street and on 2nd Street, and for all the extra wood that he had and different parts, he'd just stick them in that house. And when I bought it from him, I had a pile outside when I got through taking everything out, just so I could be able to get in there and do anything. And I'm still taking stuff out, you know, and I've been working inside every day, probably 7 days a week, trying to get it to back to original as much as I can. Because they've done some things. They were gonna make apartments out of it, and they kind of cut it up. And it had the transoms, so they've taken transoms out, and then they just, it's really bad. But not all of it's bad. There's just parts of it that are bad. And it's gonna take a lot of work to get it done. But like I say, I've been working on it 7 days a week trying to make it work. And as far as the fence, I really like the stucco fence idea. I was gonna just do just the regular blocks, but I was told that we couldn't do blocks. But stucco, you might approve that. And I'm hoping that you will, because I really would like to see it up there.
How long have you owned that property?
Ma'am?
How long have you owned that property?
I guess. I would say between 4 and 6 years.
Okay.
And you're gonna live there?
No one lives there.
No, are you going to live there when you finish it?
I probably won't actually, you know, live there all the time, but I'll be using the house. It'll be for me. You know, it's just an extension of my house, basically. I live right next door.
Are you gonna do this work yourself, or are you gonna have contractors?
No, sir, I have a contractor, Mr. Barron, and he's a mason, about 60 years or better experience. I'm not the guy. And he came to talk to you if you'd like to have to talk to him about it.
Is this an example of work you've done? Or just something similar?
Is this fence gonna be paneled, or is it gonna be a smooth wall?
It's gonna be a smooth wall.
So it's not gonna be the projections of the posts, like this picture?
Yeah, it's gonna have columns.
You're gonna have columns, and you're gonna have the detail, the rails, the top rail and the bottom rail like this?
It'll have a top cap on top of it. There won't be no rail at the bottom. The bottom will be a concrete retaining wall.
Can I get your name and address for our records?
Would you come up, please, sir?
I have a question, and you would know the answer to this. When you have something of this weight, don't you have to do something
Yes.
under reams or something to hold it up? Otherwise it'll crack and
So you're planning on, excuse me, once again, just state your name and your home address for our record, please.
Donald Barron, 1485 Dogwood Rider, Texas.
So as part of your construction here, you're gonna put under reams under the posts and
It's
the,
going,
and the wall and a gray beam to carry the load of the
Yeah.
fence?
well, there won't be a under ream. What I do on where the pads for the columns, I dig a hole at an angle on all four sides where it can't lean one way or the other.
Mhm.
And that's the way we do the pads for the post. And then it'll have a chain wall with 4 rods in it.
And then the stucco's gonna be, you're gonna put metal lath and put stucco?
Just stucco it on the blocks.
Okay, so you're gonna brown coat over the concrete block, and then you're
Yeah.
gonna put a finish coat on it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I think my concern is like she brought up. Is there any requirements for this kind of wall in our area for the footings and to be structurally sound? That, you know, you could put this up and 3 years later it could
It
fall
fall
down.
Um,
Are there any codes requiring a structural drawing or something like that?
I don't know that code enforcement, I mean, they're gonna wanna see a plan of the fence and plans of what you're doing, and then you have to get an inspection of the foundation before you can put the block up on top of it. So the city normally does those inspections. In our work as professionals in doing this kind of work, we have a structural engineer design it.
Right.
Cause I've got a big insurance policy and I don't want anybody to have to draw money on it, so. But, I guess that is totally for the homeowner. I mean, I don't object to somebody doing a masonry fence, cause I mean, we could have somebody come along and wanna do a really nice brick fence, a real decorative brick fence, too.
Yeah, as long as it's on the side yard, I don't have a problem with it. I'd like to see the pyramid caps. I like that. I like the detail in the fence, the depth, the top rail and bottom rail. If it could look more like this instead of just a flat finished wall, I don't have a problem with it. With the pyramid caps and all that.
But isn't our ruling that that's not one of the fences that we allow? It's either wooden
Is it?
or wrought iron. Yeah, we don't allow this in our district, so
Iron, wood.
I don't
Yeah,
see
that-
why we're,
That's my
It's a big
concern.
point of
It's a
contention.
very nice fence.
yeah,
It's a very nice fence,
but
but
we
I
don't
just,
allow
it's,
that.
well, it's just not appropriate for the
Yeah.
style of house that it is.
That's right, isn't it? They're not allowed in the
Yes.
historical district?
Yes, so the section that I read off, says, and this is for, front or, corner side yard homes. Basically it's, not visible from the street right of way. That it has to be constructed of wrought iron, wood, or brick, and that concrete block fences are not permitted. However, given that he wants to cover it with stucco, that's why it was brought here.
Okay.
Can you, put up the pictures again of where the fence would go?
So this is the view from Hazel. So it should be coming from right here, going along and tying into this fence. I do apologize that got cut off. And then this is from the front of the house. There's a wood fence that's right here, and that's where he'll tie in.
But it'll be seen from the street.
Yeah.
And I could also,
Yeah.
I do have a site plan, unless you guys have your, let me see.
Yeah, we have to.
Got one here. And there's the elevation,
Okay.
and it's not exactly like the picture.
So it's actually gonna go at this angle, and it's gonna come here and tie in. You won't. If anyone needs me to come up and explain the site plan, I
Anybody
can.
else needs to see it, I got one here too.
Is it privacy more that you're trying to achieve in the back with the backyard? And your preference to not have the wood? Mr.
That's what he's more wanting, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing. Let me get closer. Say that again?
Is your main objective for since this is primarily the backyard to achieve privacy? Is that why you don't want the wrought iron fence?
Right, yeah, I would, more of a privacy fence than it just being wide open like that. You know, the thing about it, this kind of fence, it's gonna be there a long time. You know, it's gonna be something substantial. Like I was talking about the wooden fences earlier, those things are just, they really don't last very long, and I don't think they're attractive. I really, you know, they're kind of, normally they have mold and they have discoloration and the warpage. But something like this, you know, every so often, you just paint it. And it should be there the house has been there over 100 years, maybe 121 years. I've tried to find the exact age of it. Closest I could come was 1900.
1905.
Well, it says 1905, but there's another house across the street from it, and they said it was built in 1900, but this one was built first. So I don't know. I've been to the historical library and tried to look it up, but as far as I could get back was the 20s or 30s. And if you look on the record, at the courthouse, I think they said it was made in the 60s.
Right.
And it's really hard to find, but anyway, I just really think that would make a big difference in the property, the way it looks, and yes, it would be for security also, and privacy. And it's just open right now, and I do have a lot of people just, I hate to say it, but they just like bring their dogs over and they come over there and like that's their yard, and kids tearing things up, you know. But it's just like a little park right there, you know. So it would be nice if it could be private and closed in.
Would it be more palatable if maybe the posts were done in brick and the connector between them was done in stucco, and we used more of the detailing like is on this photograph?
I think the brick would tie into more of the age appropriateness of the house.
Yeah.
I honestly have mixed emotions. I live in the neighborhood, and I agree with you on those wooden fences, and they get discolored, or one or two pieces are missing, and you can see all the junk in their backyard. So I kind of like this. Hopefully, you don't have a lot of junk in there, but that's, you know, once it's closed off, we wouldn't see that. But
It's true.
you know, I prefer that than having rotted wood and discolored wood, like you say. And then even with the wrought iron fence, you can see right into, because you are on a corner, and so everyone would see what's there in the back. Yeah, I think the brick would tie in more to the house, having some brick detail. To answer your question.
All right, if there's any other comments, if not, I'll look for a motion. And you can sit down.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make the motion then, if he incorporates brick, that a solid structure, is appropriate, or what? But don't you have to be real specific? If he's gonna add in stucco or whatever, I don't like the stucco idea at all, but that's just me.
Yeah, my concern is.
I'll withdraw my
it-
motion.
My concern is if we approve the stucco of any kind, then it kind of puts us in a precedent for other projects.
Yeah.
And just really don't think that the stucco is appropriate for either of the houses that are pictured there.
So are you making a motion?
I'll make a motion that we deny the request.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for denial. Any other discussion? All right, no discussion. I'll move for a vote, please. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, the request is denied. All right, our next file is PZ 2021-414. It's a request for a certificate of appropriateness to move an existing house into the Oaks Historic District and paint the house, install a front door, windows, and a porch. The applicant is James Colles, and the address is 2345 Louisiana Street.
Okay. James Callis is seeking permission to move an existing house into the Oaks Historic District and paint the house, install a front door, install windows, and a porch. The structure is currently located on city property at the Ida Reed Dog Park. The structure was once utilized by the Boy Scouts as their meeting space. That he intends to move this structure from the dog park to directly across the street to 2345 Louisiana Street. Mr. Callis intends to remodel the Boy Scout hut into a residential home for rent that will become a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. The structure will be placed on pier and beam foundation. He intends to finish out the soffit, fascia boards, and side gables to match the existing trim and siding. He will install a new front door and install 9/9 colonial white frame windows. Additionally, he intends to construct a porch using 4x6 pine wood for the deck, 2x8 pine wood for the frame, 2x4 pine wood for the handrails, and keep all of the wood natural in color. Lastly, he requests to paint the house with the body color being Colonial Revival green stone, trim to be Downing sand, the shutters and front door to be Rookwood dark green. The porch will remain a natural treated pine wood if granted. Planning staff recommends approval subject to the following conditions. Must pull all necessary building and moving permits through building codes and the engineering division. Porch shall be painted the same color as the trim. The facade of the house with the front door must face Louisiana Street. So, this is the subject property. Right now it's vacant.
Is that next to the convenience store?
It's close. It's close. I think it's three properties away or 2 properties away.
It's 125 foot frontage, and we're using 50 feet to the west side. The other 75 will be a vacant lot. It is separate, block block.
And this is the house that he intends to move. This is over at Ida Reed. So he's going to move this house as it is over to the vacant piece of property. This is a rendering of what he intends the house to look like after his renovations. And this is the porch that he would like to install. I'm unsure if he wanted to put anything to cover the top, but he may be able to answer that once he's called.
Is that a similar structure, or is that?
This is a structure he owns off of Concord. And this is what he provided to me that he would like the porch to look like. And this is the color choices. So the body color, the trim color, and then this would be the shutters in the front door.
Can you go back to what the house looks like now, please?
It's a Boy Scouts center. Boy Scouts used
Right.
it.
And it's, no one's living there, it's just for meetings and,
That's what it was for. It's no longer been, I'm not sure how long it's been out of commission for Boy Scout huts, but I do know that they, Boy Scout troops, but I do know that they did use it as their meeting space for a
It's been
while.
At least 5 years
Yeah.
that they haven't used it.
We've been using the hut since 1967, been there since 1964. I'd be glad to, you know, later come up and give you a short history.
All right, wait 1 second, please. Are any other questions for staff?
How big is this building?
20 by 30, but I'm gonna give you the history. That was a flat roof, there was 4 huts.
Excuse me, 1 second, please, sir. We'll give you an opportunity. Staff, do you know?
I have a floor plan I can pull up. So 20 by 30.
Did you get this in your packet?
Yeah,
Yes,
probably
we got
did, yes.
This is the floor
Yeah,
plan.
that's the floor plan.
That's the first floor plan.
and can you go back to the place it's going to be relocated, please? Okay. Can you explain to us where that is again?
Yes, so, 7th Street and then Louisiana Street.
Okay.
And then, so you know where Ida Reed is?
Yeah.
It's like literally right across the street from Ida Reed. I wanna say it's probably like, if I'm looking at the map and envisioning it right, it's probably, 2 to 4 lots inset from 7th Street.
From the convenience store Christina was talking about?
Yes, yes.
If you're leaving the convenience store, it's to the right of it, maybe 1 or 2.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions for staff? All right, Mr. Callis, if you could come forward, just give us your name and your home address for our records, and then,
I'm James Callis. I'm a lifelong resident of Beaumont. I live at 5375 Rosemary Drive, and I've been associated with that hut since 1967. My cousin, Dr. Gary C. Bain, had restarted the troop at St. Michael Orthodox Church, and he found that to be a great place. It was a wonderful place for the boys and all the years that we were there. I've been associated with it off and on. I happen to have girls. I never had sons, but I was very active in scouting and tried to promote it there. We actually, Taylor Neal, our councilman, actually got his Eagle Scout there in that hut. I could go on and on of all the young men that have come through that area, and the hut has been very beneficial. COVID did not help things. We were in the process of reworking the hut there to still be a meeting place. That did not work out. We tried to move it. We tried to move it to the Clifton Steamboat Museum, the Scout office out on Fournette, even up to the Scout camp at Erlin. No one wants our old hut. So this plan that I've come up with here is to preserve it in a useful way. Also, it's going to be rental property, and $100 of the rent is going to go towards a new troop, Troop 3, or the Woodcraft Scouts, which is kind of an offshoot of Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts have taken a lot of heat here lately, but it's for youth in Beaumont. The building that Mrs. Demi showed you on the porch, that's actually a house I moved 10 years ago when I was working for Drainage District 6, and it came from the south end. The city requires that everything be brought up to current codes, just as if it was new construction. And so it will have a windstorm foundation, and I am a licensed contractor. I am a responsible master plumber, but I recently retired because my wife's health has been impaired. But I still get out, and I do have other people to help me with this project. The short history is that there were 4 huts built in Beaumont in 1954, and this is the last one that's remaining. It had a flat roof. It always leaked, and after Hurricane Rita, we had a big meeting and we had a work day out there, and we decided that as we were fixing the flat roof, it wasn't worth fixing. Mr. Evans, who I do not know, who donated all the money to all these huts in the past, somehow showed up, gave us a few $1,000s, and with our adult leaders, Rusty Mathis, my cousin Sam Debs, and myself, and a few other adults, and all of our scouts, we framed that roof up, we put architectural shingle. It very much meets the codes of the time, and then we met for many, many years. For a Boy Scout, that troop had been in existence for 49 years. You have to get to the 50th year to be recognized at the national level. We did not make that. But you have to have 5 boys to re-up a troop. We did not. The troop went vacant, the hut went vacant. And so now, with all the efforts, it's my goal to try to move it across the street, preserve it as I could, and then in that location, that rusty flagpole was put up in the early 70s, and we're going to put a memorial there, just something simple for all the scouting that has been served there. We've been a good neighbor. We've done service projects in the park, and I'm hoping y'all can approve the request.
All right. Any questions from Mr. Kellis?
Do you own the lot that the properties, the house is to be moved to?
Here's the history. Yes, I do.
Okay.
When my cousin, Dr. Bain, retired about 1993, my friend Mark Merrill, who had sons in the troop, and myself, we took over so the troop would not fold. And about that time, I don't know if y'all remember Louis Hiltpold, who's very active in scouting. He came over and said, "Hey, we'd like for y'all to move this hut off this property." And we said, "Hey, Louis, we really want to stay here." So pretty much he just let it go. So I, at about that time, bought the 2 lots across the street and have just held them. And but now, if this is not approved, I will personally demolish a hut. I do not want an excavator tearing it down. And I will sell the 2 lots. I don't think I will build anything there. There's a lot of home building going on in town right now, and I'm going to build some small houses, but not in the Oaks Historic District. Just this one, if approved.
Thank you.
Does the city own that property that the hut is on now? Is it part of the park?
It's Ida Reed Park, and huts traditionally in Beaumont have been on school grounds and parks. There's been some at some churches, and I actually had a hut through all of my scouting. Troop 17 over in the north end off of Pope and Prince, and then well, that's the one I started with. But there are huts, but very few left. There is a really nice scout building on French Road. Those guys are like professional. They've got a warehouse behind it. I mean, it'd be ideal if all scouts had that, but that's a very, very heavy investment. But the main thing is a sponsor must provide a safe place to meet. And when we went to the city to bring this up to the code, that basically is a vacant building inside. We have like 4 lights. Used to have gas, so it's cold in the winter and it's hot in the summer. The new code requires that we have heat, we have a restroom, we have ADA, and we were working all that, but it all came down to no one really wanted to meet there anymore, and so that's why this is the project we're attempting.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Collins? Thank you, sir. All right, I'll open it up for discussion or motion.
I make a motion that we approve file PZ 2021-414 with the 3 staff recommendations.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, Mr. Calais, good luck with your project. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for taking all the time to make it.
All right, our Historic District Code Enforcement Officer was unable to be with us here today, so we do not have that report. Is there any other business?
Nope, she'll have the report for both the months, next month when we meet, or in 2022.
Welcome our newest member of our board. Look forward to working with you in the future. Nice to see some younger people excited about historic
Don't look at-
preservation.
When you said younger, look at me.
Well, she's just a hair younger
Yeah,
than you.
right.
All right, with that, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, fearless leader, once again.
Did anyone have that site plan for 794 Third?